All right, just finished a morning meeting with the team where we're talking about, kind of our brand positioning right now as we kind of go through a couple of different changes in the business of removing things like audio visual, like big production shows. I say big production shows, but doing all of the full production, event production for like a conference or a gala or something like that, and just removing that because that technically isn't within our pillars of strategy, production, distribution for our content marketing. So, everything that we've been doing, it's always felt like content creation and event services, which kind of dilutes everything. Whereas content marketing, we're a full service content marketing studio, right? I don't like the word agency, so we lead with studio. Plus, our business name is OneAway Studios, so we offer full service content marketing, right? And everything that we do, if it does not fall within the three pillars of strategy, production, distribution, we don't do it. So, and production meaning like everything to do with cameras. So the production aspect of the things that we do revolves around a camera, right? So most of the stuff is revolved around production, meaning we're doing the script writing, we're doing the strategy, and then we go on site and we do the production. Now, there's two versions of the production, right? With the camera, there's where we're providing content for the guest, or we're providing content for the business. So one allows for the guest to distribute the content themselves because we're creating, essentially doing UGC content at your live event, or we're doing the polished version of everything, which is where we're scripting everything. We're doing a brand story. We're doing an interview. We got the studio lights. We got all of this stuff. And then the distribution happens later, post-production, right? And we end up posting it on social media for the client. We run the ads for the client. The distribution happens via us at a later date or immediately after, the production session, depending on what the goals are. So this has been an interesting year so far of like, what is our positioning? What do we delete from the business? What do we double down on? Because at the core of everything that we do, what we always obsess about at the end of the day, like I'm always obsessed about content and marketing. That's it, right? Like cameras and gear and like what's going to get us the highest leverage result for the client without breaking the bank, right? And there's so many new tools, there's so much new gear, there's so many new, especially like workflows with AI that help make things operate faster. And those are the things that we're focused on, right? How can we make the strategy more effective in a shorter time span? How can we produce at a higher level and post-produce even faster without compromising on quality, without compromising on the value per second that a piece of content provides for somebody? So really great meeting with the team today of that. As we go through some like staff changes, we go through some, architectural changes, some foundational changes of how we operate, removing DJ services. Like legacy clients might still be able to inquire for that. And, depending on the type of client or the event or what it is, we might still do some of those because we do still have a depot of our AV gear. And even for stuff like audio visual productions, more partnering with somebody now to do those things, all of those deals over the next year or really the next 9 months, I'd say. So that's kind of where we're at with everything for OAS. It's been a journey. It's been a challenge, right? I halfway through, like 2.5 years into the business, it's like, hold on, I don't want to have a warehouse full of photo booth gear, right? I want to have like lighting and sound gear and cameras, not a bunch of 360 video booth platforms, not a bunch of like, photo booth pillars and stuff like that. Like that stuff helps. And and especially if you're a live event, especially if you're a business that has live events, those guest activations are important. But beyond that, it's the vendor typically isn't like, oh, let me think about your distribution. What's the strategy? Like, what are we wanting? Do we need to collect, for instance, we collect leads. We can help people distribute there on site. We can gamify things. We can do giveaways, right? That encourage people to share on social media so that your brand continues to get more visibility. While at the same time, we have our media team deployed at the event capturing the evergreen marketing content, right? So not only can we provide the on-site services that someone might traditionally describe as a photo booth, but we take it a little bit further so that it becomes content marketing, real-time content creation at your event that gets distributed by the guest in real time. And layer 2 to that is then having a media production team like ourselves that's also capturing the evergreen marketing content, getting professional photography, traditional event photography that we then take later and we post the video the next day. We post the content the next week. We, start marketing for the next event. So those are things to always consider when, looking for content marketing companies or things like that. I'm not sure if you're a business owner, especially if you're a business owner, this is the stuff that drives the needle in today's marketing landscape. Real world interactions, and then immediately followed up by digital interactions, because what we're able to do is get people to not only get the photo onto their phone that we take for them, but immediately invite them to visit your social media or your website, where then you're retargeting pixel triggers. And because we already got the event marketing content as well, like we did all the on-site production for the event, we can then do the next post and retarget everybody that was at the event. So there's a lot of different things to do that people don't think about, even thinking about event marketing, running ads within a 1 mile radius of your event so that people can see that content. And reaching your people, especially if it's a multi-day conference. This is a super secret hack that I'm going to do for a client actually, is they're going to be at a multi-day conference, and the goal is to run a 1 mile radius ad really heavy for the duration of that conference, like one day before, one day after. So anytime someone opens up their phone to go on social media, everybody at that event is going to see that brand. So instead of having to spend a bunch of money on in-person promo and advertising for certain things, take that budget, run it as marketing ads, run it as retargeting ads, come to our booth. If you're seeing this and you come to our booth for a special deal versus our website. There's so many different things that you can do with content marketing. You just got to get creative with it.